Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I'm thrilled to be here. Before I begin, please give another warm round of applause for JD and for her leadership. She's doing just an amazing job. Lucky to have her. I'm so honored to have the chance to join all of you in marking NAF's 30-year record of impact in states all across the country. Together, this national network and your 500 NAF academies are making an extraordinarily important contribution to our nation's future. You've built strong partnerships between schools, employers, and communities, and you've designed solutions to help students, including, as all of you know, some of our most disadvantaged, some of our most vulnerable students, helping them to graduate from high school, to enroll in post-secondary education, to complete their degrees, and to go on to fulfilling professions. Simply put, you are helping to transform the life chances of our nation's young people, and I thank you so much for that collective commitment. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I want to thank everyone here for that tireless effort, that tireless commitment to prepare all students for success in college and careers. And I especially want to thank the talented teachers in the room for the incredible difference that you make in the lives of young people. Could I ask, I know you're eating, but could I ask all of our teachers to please stand, and let's give them a round of applause for their hard work. So many of us are passionate about education and want to make a difference every single day, but the truth is neither JD or I are in the classroom. And you guys, it's our job to support you. You're doing the hard work, often without enough resources, often in very tough communities, and I just thank you for that commitment that you're making. We're thrilled to be here. JD's been a great partner, and so many folks on my team have such fond memories of working with you over the past few years and for 20, 30 years going back. And Brenda Dan Messier is here. Brenda's going to stick around, be back tomorrow. She's doing just an amazing job leading our Office of Vocational and Adult Education. She's a wonderful advocate for all learners, and Brenda, I just want to let you know how happy I am, how pleased I am to have you as part of the team. Brenda's an absolute superstar. If you don't know her yet, I know she was here yesterday, she'll be back tomorrow, please get to know her. And she and I look forward to learning from you, to listening to you, and working closely with every single one of you on our shared agenda. As everyone here knows, now more than ever, education must be the great equalizer in our society. It is the surest path out of poverty and the best way to give every American a fair shot at success in a globally competitive economy. And both President Obama and I see education as an economic necessity and as a moral imperative. And that's why, soon after he took office, President Obama established a bold goal for our country, that by 2020, the United States would once again have the highest proportion of college graduates in the world and have the most competitive workforce. And he's calling on every American to complete at least 1 year of post-secondary education. To achieve that goal, we've launched a comprehensive cradle-to-career reform agenda. We're also working hard to try and transform our Department of Education from being something focused on compliance and bureaucracy to being an engine of innovation at the state and at the district and at the school level, and to create a climate of change and to provide incentives for folks showing real courage and real boldness and vision for reform. And I know this group has a deep understanding of the real challenges our country faces. And what's more, I know you're working on a daily basis to solve those challenges, not just to admire the problem, but to fix the problem. You're working to ensure that each and every student in a NAF Academy receives the world-class education they desperately need and deserve. In fact, the timing for this conversation couldn't be better. Just as our federal team is at a critical point in our efforts to transform education for the 21st century, NAF, too, is at a pivotal time in its development as an organization. And I understand, I'm so pleased that you've set a goal of graduating and certifying the skills of 100,000 college and career-ready graduates by the year 2020. This is a huge step to help achieve our national completion and competitiveness goal, and I want to thank you for that commitment. I want to thank you in advance for the tremendous hard work I know it's going to take to hit that goal of 100,000. My goal today here is to share our outline and our plan to transform career and technical education, CTE. Then, with that as context, I'll discuss our plans to implement the President's proposed $1 billion additional investment in career academies. And I'll absolutely keep my remarks brief because I'm much more interested in having a conversation with you and hearing from you of how we can work together to make sure every single young person has a chance to fulfill their academic and social potential. At its best, as all of you know, CTE engages students deeply in their own learning, enriches instruction with real-world applications, and helps students to master 3 types of skills: academic skills, technical skills, and a career pathway, as well as transferable career skills that characterize today's knowledge workers. And unfortunately, too often today, some of our nation's CTE programs fall short of that standard of being relevant, rigorous, and results-driven. Now, with the federal statute that funds career and technical education, the Perkins Act, scheduled for reauthorization next year in 2013, we have an unprecedented opportunity collectively to transform CTE in America. The President's FY13 budget includes a proposal to better leverage our $1.1 billion for CTE in order to accomplish this transformation. And in April, our administration released our blueprint for Perkins reauthorization. The blueprint is the result of extensive conversations with folks in the field and many of you in this room. Brenda and her team met with and listened to literally hundreds and hundreds of stakeholders to discuss CTE and hear how we can improve the Perkins Act. Based on those conversations, we've focused on 4 key principles. First, we think every CTE program must have high-quality standards and clearly articulate a pathway to a well-paying, in-demand occupation. CTE programs should be deliberately designed with the jobs of today and probably more importantly, the jobs of tomorrow in mind. And that means they must be better aligned with the needs of business and industry. And I must say, as I travel the country and visit schools and talk to CEOs around the nation, I keep asking myself in these tough economic times, do we have a jobs crisis or do we have a skills crisis? And I can't tell you how many CEOs have said to me and said to the President, Arne, we're trying to hire right now, but we can't find the employees with the skills that we're looking for. I think all of us have to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, what can we do collectively to close that skills gap? And that's at the heart of so many of your efforts here. Second, we want to promote effective collaboration among schools, colleges, institutions, employers, and industry partners. In fact, we want states to obtain a 25% match for Perkins funds from the private sector, either in cash or in in-kind contributions, like equipment. We think these contributions will both maintain engagement and sustainability for the long haul. And instead of maintaining separate silos for secondary and post-secondary CTE efforts, we have to break down those silos by awarding funding competitively to consortia of secondary and post-secondary institutions. Communities, as all of you know, have to come together to help our young people be successful. Third, we want to hold all CTE programs accountable for producing strong student outcomes. This means helping states and partnerships develop common definitions and clear metrics of performance. It also means providing more support to promote the development and effectiveness of teachers and leaders in CTE programs. And finally, with this blueprint, we aim to move from islands of excellence to widespread, scalable, systemic reform. To do this, we want to set aside a portion of Perkins funds for a new CTE Innovation Fund to provide states with more flexibility and incentives to create world-class career pathway systems. Now, with those 4 principles in mind, and as part of our overall efforts to usher in a new era of rigorous, relevant, and results-driven CTE, we need to expand programs with a proven track record of success. Data from career academies across the country, including NAF's own outcomes, show that offering students an academically rigorous curriculum integrated with career-related programming reduces high school dropout rates and prepares students for careers that lead to high-wage jobs, real earnings. 4 years ago, MDRC published a rigorous evaluation of career academies and found strong and sustained impacts on students' labor market outcomes, most notably on their earnings. And these positive impacts did not come at the expense of educational outcomes. And that's why President Obama's FY13 budget proposes an additional $1 billion for CTE programs to increase the number of high-quality career academies across the country. We see this investment, and that's exactly what it is, we see this investment as a critical part of our overall vision for expanding effective career and technical education programs to every community across this nation. The proposal would expand the number of career academies by 3,000 and provide services to an additional 500,000 students. That's a 50% increase. And the new funds would be allocated in the forms of formula grants that we would give out to states over a 3-year period, beginning with $200 million in FY13 and then $400 million in FY14 and 15, the following 2 years. States would then hold competitions to distribute those funds at the local level. And as part of this program, our department would propose clear definitions for a career academy that each state must, at a minimum, use within its in-state competition. And here are 5 elements of the definition that we're considering. We'd love your input on this as well. First, a career academy is a secondary school program that is organized as a small learning community or school within a school to provide supportive, personalized learning environment. Second, these academies must begin in the 9th grade. Third, the academy would need to provide a combined academic and technical curriculum that includes CTE courses for which students may receive academic credit. The academy's curriculum would be organized around a career theme, obviously just like those themes proposed by NAF: finance, hospitality and tourism, IT, health, sciences, or engineering, and aligned with the state's college and career-ready standards. Fourth, a career academy provides work-based learning and career exploration activities through partnerships with local employers. And fifth and finally, the Academy's program articulates and reflects the entrance requirements of post-secondary education programs to ensure that students graduate from high school ready to pursue either a degree or a credential. And now I'm so interested to hear what you think about our Career Academy's plan, the proposed Academy definition, and our CTE blueprint. But quickly before I close, let me just add this. Meeting the President's 2020 goal is about so much more than students earning degrees. It's about preserving the promise of the American dream for future generations. To keep that promise alive, we need to help so many more students graduate from high school, earn post-secondary degrees and certificates, and secure careers in high-wage, in-demand fields. That's the only way to ensure their success in a globally competitive marketplace. It's also the most strategic, the most effective way to fuel our nation's economy, create new jobs, and help ensure the long-term prosperity of our families, our communities, and our country. And this is what your vision, your hard work, and your leadership is all about as part of the NAF network. And this is what we're working so hard to achieve together. So finally, in conclusion, I just want to thank all of you once again for devoting your life, your energy, your talents to creating a brighter future for our students and ultimately for our country. In our Department of Education, we want to be a great, great partner with you and walk every step of this journey together. Thank you so much.